Lecturer and jazz singer Titi Luzipo's music career started at a very young age. Born and raised in a musical household, she was exposed to various genres. Her parents, both passionate jazz enthusiasts, nurtured her interest in music, providing her with ample opportunities to explore her talent. From gospel choirs to jazz clubs, Titi Luzipo immersed herself in the rich and diverse world of music, developing her unique vocal style. In the upcoming Joy of Jazz Festival, she will pay homage to the late Gloria Bosman, a revered jazz vocalist and composer. Titi joins us now in studio to tell us more about her musical journey and singing the late Gloria Bosman next week. A very good morning to you, Titi. Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Great stuff. Let's now take it back to how your musical journey started.
I was introduced to music at a very young age. I think it was, well, not I think, I know. It was genetic. Yeah. My grandfather was a choral composer, Usibi Kwesha, and he composed the hymn, Guide Me, O Thou Great Jehovah. And so then passed on to my mother passed it on to me, and so it goes. So I was introduced to music at a very early age, and I'm grateful for the opportunities that rised at the time. You know, as a young black kid, music was not the wisest thing to do. There was always this thing that you've got to have something to fall back on.
Yeah, sure.
You know, but my parents were very supportive in making sure that I just live, you know, and I do music as I would like to.
Yeah, you know, your parents were so cool because, you know, our parents would tell us that, you know, you have to study law, you have to study this and that, and not necessarily follow your heart or follow your passion. But who or what were some of your musical influences that, you know, helped develop your choral, your vocal style?
Definitely my mother. As a vocalist herself, I think I had this idea that I would be like her one day, you know. I'd be on the stage but still be able to take care of the family, but also still have this something to fall back on, you know what I mean? So it was definitely my mother, but of course I grew up listening to the music of Mamleta Mbulu, Gloria Bosman, of course, Mam Sibongile Khumalo, and the list is endless really. So I think I really just took it on from there.
Yeah, and speaking of Gloria Bosman, I mean, how are you preparing to pay homage and pay tribute to her in the upcoming Jazz Festival?
Mom Gloria was, and still is, a compass for most of us as musicians. And I think, you know, she was like a GPS because her music kind of her songs became anthems to South Africa. You know what I mean? And for me, it's a difficult task, but also an easy task because this is the music that I grew up singing and I grew up listening to. You know, the preps are hard because I have a different relationship with her. She was like a mother to me. I mean, I first met her when I was in my matric year, you know, and it's something very, very, very close to me. So it's a hard one, but it's also an easy one to do because I know that she would have wanted me to do this. And I'm preparing this and wearing my emotions on my sleeve, really. It's going to be a lovely one, and I'm really grateful to the Joy of Jazz for just inviting me over, you know, to pay tribute to Gloria Bosman.
Yeah. Your musical style is just amazing in its own right, and Gloria Bosman's musical style is absolutely amazing in its own right. So I'm just quite curious to know how you'd be able to fuse your own style with hers, or will you be adding your own, you know, influences or flavors into some of Gloria Bosman's songs?
If I didn't do that, she'd wake up from her grave and give me a spank. But most definitely, I think more than anything, our music is a reflection of reality.
Absolutely.
And in that sense, then it becomes sort of easy to kind of correlate her style and my style into just one song. The most important thing here is to produce an intricate melody. Oh, yes. And I think that's the most important thing more than anything. You know, the message is there, messages of love, messages of the eradication of femicide and whatever have you, and you know, whatever we're facing in society. But the one thing that I really want to produce is a memorable melody that people will leave there still singing my songs, still singing Gloria's songs as she would have loved to.
And we're certainly looking forward to hearing that memorable melody. And do you want to share any insight as to some of the songs or the arrangements that we'll be performing?
Buy tickets to the Joy of Jazz. Buy the tickets to the Joy of Jazz.
Rain or shine, I'm there. So I'm quite curious to know how you're able to sort of capture the essence of you know, someone as big as Gloria Bosman.
Like I'm saying, it's a cutthroat, but it's also a win-win at the same time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When your music reflects reality, this goes back to what I always say, that before we are musicians, we're active members of the society. Gloria was very adamant about that. Gloria would walk into Pimville and walk around the streets of Pimville like she is Gloria Bosman, not like she isn't, because she is Gloria Bosman,
Sure.
you know. And she would sit with her people, she would sit with the people that she grew up with, you know, and that is a reflection of reality. And she took that and put it into her music. And I think I want to maintain that very same thing. I want to maintain that very same being me, being real, you know, being an active member of society, taking that and putting it into music. So it's for me, the capture is, like I'm saying, more of the melody. You know, how do I produce what she produced? You know, how do I the movement of her body? What did it mean in a certain way? You know, and because I worked with her on so many occasions, it becomes sort of an easy thing, because I would look at her, you know, try and mimic that movement, try and mimic how she would produce that melody. It's a
And
tough
especially
one.
her facial expressions.
Yeah, she would open her mouth. I don't know if I can do that. Yeah, she had something special. You know, someone once said to me, Gloria sang like a demon. She just belted out notes. She didn't fear, and I think that's exactly what I'm trying to do. I hope I can do it.
And you know, Titi, the essence of music, in particular jazz music, it just allows you to go on a personal journey and interpret music in your own personal way, and you just allow yourself to be immersed in whatever emotion that's being exuded by that particular music or that particular song. So what kind of emotions are you hoping to convey as you pay tribute to Gloria Bosman?
Gloria had left a very clear instruction that when she dies, we shouldn't cry. We shouldn't cry in sadness.
That is so profound.
Yeah, she said it in Zulu, you know.
Sure.
You must know that I lived, and I lived my life to the fullest, and I have no regrets whatsoever. And so this is exactly why it's so important for me not to leave an emotion of sadness, but rather an emotion that reminds us of this incredible woman who became a compass for South African musicians, especially young musicians who came after her. You know, I don't want to leave a message of sadness and sorrow and grief. I think we've done that. We cried. You know, when we heard the news of her passing, we cried. You know, I cried like a baby because she was my mother. Yeah. I cried like a baby. But now I want to remember the happy Gloria. I want to remember the energetic Gloria, the one that opens up her mouth, you know, and belts out.
Magic happens.
That's it. That's the emotion, and that's what I want to evoke through people. I want to remind people that music is still alive. Music
and I suppose it's a celebratory mood, eh? Because we're celebrating her, we're celebrating her music, we're celebrating her legacy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So share more details on what we can expect from your performance?
Well, she would kill me if I didn't perform some of my songs again. Yes. So I will be performing some of my songs, including Freedom, which is a single that I released a couple of months ago. It's funny that we're on the Dina Lady stage, and last year, that's the last stage that I was with her.
Oh, wow.
Paying tribute to Mam Sibongile Khumalo. So this is a 360 turn for me. This is why I cannot be sad while performing her music. Wow. So it's going to be amazing. There will be some emotional parts for me.
Of course.
There'll be a lot of chemistry between myself and the band, lots of chemistry between myself and the audience, of course, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Okay. On which day are you performing on that?
30th of September on the Dina Lady stage. I think at 7 p.m.
Okay. Looking forward to that.
Thank you so much.
Great chatting to you, Titi. Thank you so much. That was jazz singer Titi Luzipo talking to us about her musical journey, and of course a tribute to the late jazz artist Gloria Bosman at this year's Joy of Jazz on the 30th of September. This is an absolute must-see.